everyone for gracing this very beautiful place, and added to it are the beautiful prints of Betty. Thank you, Betty, for your lifelong passion for the arts and for learning. And I got some briefing on your works and on your life, and I'm very impressed. Thank you. I found out you're only 97 years young. Got not to do yet. Very young. and thankfully strong and mobile and still working for the arts. Thank you. So I'm thrilled to be here, delighted to meet you all and meet Betty, our honoree, our artist, prolific artist. Besides thanking you, I'd like to thank Martha Street Studio, Larry, and I found out two ladies were the instigators of this event. Janice and Amy, thank you. Thank you all your volunteers, to the staff, and of course to our dear artists. Honored to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mercy. I appreciate that. And actually, I'd like to call forward, as Minister Marcelino already mentioned, Janice Dihon and Amy Kowinski. They are the ones who first approached us about the idea of honoring Betty in this way, and I think they would like to say a few words as well. So if you'd like to come forward.
Okay. Well, I'm just so happy this is happening for Betty, because Betty has been an inspiration for me, and I was just realizing it when I was a teenager. Betty was in school, and she was just like this get-it-done person, always in the studio, always there in the mornings, always there afternoon. And she set like a really wonderful example for me for what somebody can be. They redefine themselves. She was in her 60s, and she was just this force, and has been in the art scene and doing work for 30 years. And it's really given me personally a lot of courage to go back and re-examine my art roots and set a wonderful example for people for lifelong learning and for sticking to your guns and doing what you want. It's just passionate. It's inspirational. And so when I was doing an art history project, we were talking about people from the forum where Amy had remembered Betty from as a child student, and influencing a whole different generation of people to go into the arts. And so Amy said, well, I would love to see Betty. And then when we walked into her world, it was just amazing. Her apartment and her studio next door is just fabulous work. It's just filled, so professional. And it was just a delight to find that Betty was still doing this, and it was still uncovered. And she looked at it and she said, you know, I'm waiting for somebody to ask me for a show. Pretty soon it's going to be too late. So Amy was at the Wendy Wersch, and she put it out there, and Susie Smith, I think, heard it. And it's really wonderful to see the work here, a lot of it framed. I know it's just such a beautiful show that you've put together, that it's Susie, but yeah, it's great. Amy.
Thank you, Jennifer. Well, I'm so delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to be here for this moment. And it was last October when I was giving a memorial lecture, a Wendy Wersch lecture on the arts. It happens every year. And Susie Smith was there, and my lecture was about very personal story about engaging in the arts. And Betty, you were a formative influence for me. I don't think you know this, but when I was a student, when I went to the Foreign Art Institute, you were a teacher there. And I remember your energy and optimism and passion. And so it was so exciting to then see you later on as I was more involved in the arts, and we would pass by, you would be at a show at the Winnipeg Art Gallery, I'd be walking in, you'd be walking into Ken Siegel's gallery, I'd be walking out. And so I've sort of kept track of you a little bit over the years, but when Janice had a project to do for the University of Manitoba, I think it was Cliff Eland's class, and it was on a totally different issue, and you responded, and I was kind of thrilled to be able to see you again, as Janice said. So I'm so delighted that, you know, Susie said yes, you must have a show.
Thank you.
So we're very excited
I don't know
about
why
it.
it's taken so long for me.
It's a fantastic moment because there, you know, Betty is part of the story of Manitoba modernism. And so it's really important to have this exhibition, to have some of the dates and the timeline up so that we can, you know, put you into the history of Manitoba art as you should rightly be. So thank you very much.
Well, I can say just those two little words that I don't really like because they seem so insignificant. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. I don't know why I haven't heard all this. Well, of course, maybe it's well. I'd be like me flying. But it's been wonderful. It's like a new show to me, really. Because seeing them in the shelves in the studio, in the storeroom, it doesn't do very much for them. And I'd rather, when I have the energy, I'd rather be working than out trying to peddle them or sell myself and so on. So that's the way it is. But I do appreciate all of this by everybody, the effort that has been put into it. I didn't know who instigated it until now, any more than Susie and Larry came to see me one day, and they had to introduce themselves and why they wanted to come and see me. So we met in my studio and talked about the work and looked at it, and that was it. And I didn't put too much thought into it. I enjoyed their company. I enjoyed the visit, which I always do. Anybody who comes to see me. But I was very happy when they asked me if I would have a show here. I didn't know the space. I'd never seen it. In fact, I hadn't heard about it. Although I can go way back to the beginning of the Manitoba printmakers, I was one of them for the very early days. I've been around for a while. I've done these things, and I haven't done them for any particular reason any more than I wanted to, and I enjoyed doing what I was doing. I've really had a wonderful life, and that's the way it's been. So I just followed it through. But thank you to everybody. There's a man who thinks he taught me something one day.
Oh, watch out though.
You know what she used to do? Saturday morning, she'd be in the litho shop. This is like 1981. And she'd be phoning me at home, Bill, I can't get this plate to pack. So I'd be driving down to the university on Saturday morning.
Yes, and I'm going to tell this story, maybe you won't like it. If I ask him a question, see, because I have a hearing disability, and I don't know if somebody's talking to me until they let me know, and maybe I'm working and something's being said, well, I'm not in that, I don't know. But if I ask Bill a question, instead of answering my question, he said, "Don't you ever listen?" So that really knocked me so many times that I gave up asking questions. But anyway, anyway, Bill, thank you. And we had some good years there. Good or bad, the bad made the good better.
Please enjoy the rest of the evening.